Okay, I'm going to show you how to make some lovely little glazed shallots. Now these I would most associate with cooking with a steak, for example, and just having this little garnish. What we're going to do is we're going to peel them, and what I want you to do is, the root is down there. Using a small knife, I just want you to peel those layers of skin away, but leaving the root absolutely intact. Because we're going to heat them up, that's going to be essential in keeping the whole little shallot whole, and I think they really are very pretty when you put them on the side of a plate. They work out very, very nicely as a garnish. So just strip those layers away. And once you've done that, what you should end up with is an absolutely perfect whole shallot. So just trim a tiny bit of that root away, but you can see that it's very much still intact. And with some shallots, what will happen is there's two in there. So you just split them up and the root is still intact, and we'll just keep those to one side. So I'm going to peel the rest of those and then I can start roasting them off in a little pan. So just trim that last one down. And now what we're going to do, I've got a pan over here on a medium heat. So I'm going to start them off with a little bit of oil. In that goes. Now what first we want to do is get a little bit of colour on them. So just lay them in and we'll let them sort of roast off and get those lovely shallot flavours going first. Actually, this one here is much, much bigger than the others. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to straight down the middle, and you'll see like that. Perfect. So in he goes. With those, I'm going to add in a few little rosemary leaves. Doesn't matter if they're whole because they're going to come out afterwards. We're only interested in the shallots in this dish. Now there's two ways of doing these. The first way is you can very easily pop them into the oven and let them roast. We're going to add some chicken stock and sort of make a reduction and just cook them on the stove top. It's quicker and it's probably a little bit easier for you to control. So you can see they're really starting to take on a lovely golden brown colour, which is exactly what we want. So at this stage, in with some butter, and that's going to give them a lovely nutty flavour, and it's going to help with the browning. You can already see that they're looking delicious. They just make a perfect accompaniment. Like even if you had them in a side dish and just served them up at a table when people are having steak or a nice hearty winter's dish, they'd be absolutely perfect. So that butter's starting to brown off now. Next thing that goes in there is chicken stock. And what we're going to do is we're just going to turn the heat down on those ever so slightly, and we're going to let those reduce down nicely and poach in that chicken stock. And what you're going to end up with are shallots that are lovely and crispy on the outside because we've given them that colour, and they're going to be lovely and tender, and then I've lost that sort of sharpness and they'll be nice and sweet. So that should take, over a low temperature, about 15 to 20 minutes. Now look what's happened after about 15 minutes. Those shallots are glazed beautifully because the chicken stock is reduced down. They're lovely and soft. If you're not sure, just poke a little knife into them. They should be absolutely soft. One last thing you want to do is just baste a little bit of that lovely cooking liquor over the top of them, and then they're basically ready to serve. I think they make a really lovely side dish. They're quite unusual. It's sort of something completely different to your normal vegetables, you know, like your carrots, etc. A plate of these with a lovely steak in the depths of winter, I don't really think as a vegetable it gets much better than that. A little bit of the liquor over the top, gorgeous.